Good morning to you wherever you are in Ghana and perhaps outside wherever you're watching us from. It is A.M Ghana live at Adwa TV. Yes, right here. It's a Monday morning, 24th, right? 24th of January 2022. And as we said, January is moving so fast. It depends on your pockets and how you see it. Nowadays, our glasses seem to be in our pockets, or we see from our pockets. So how you see it, for me, I think that it's moving fast and it's moving well. Yes, because I'm alive and you are alive. Our condolences still go to all in Apiate, yes, for that unfortunate incident on was it Wednesday or Thursday? I'm a little, because I've gone for a weekend, my dates and my time, my bearings on them are a little skewed, but forgive me for that. I also heard, I think on Friday of some explosions as well, also in Kumasi, and about the incidences, we leave them for the right record, for the right information, the right news about them to come. I'm very, very sure we're going to hear more. There will be updates on them today. But our condolences go to all families that have been affected and also to the victims. We wish you speedy recovery, especially those in the hospital, those with burns, cuts, all those that have lost homes, property, jobs, lives. No words can fill up the gap or can bring back what you have lost. But believe you me, when we say that, we feel your pain and we share it. So I'm going to drive you through what will be a successful morning. It's me, Lady Julia here, and yes, more segments, political discussion. Most probably, we will have a health talk as well with you. We're trying our best to get our doctors here. We want to bring you something juicy, especially as you know what the weather is doing to us now. So we want to bring you something juicy, how to keep yourself, especially in this dry. For me, it is a weather I do not like. There is nothing I like about Hamatan. Nothing. Nothing. I know some of you like it. Me, I don't. Whether the chill, because it's dry and it's so frustrating. That is when you really have to be conscious of every breath you take in. Thank God there is a face mask that has been made popular for us now. It's a very, very good reason to keep your face mask up there. It receives off most of the dust. But we know when it comes to the dryness, you hear people coughing here and there, sneezing here and there. So it is a very, very good reason to keep your face mask on and to social distance, put in some social distance. I know it will not be applicable everywhere, but make sure you do your best and stop touching your face, because your hands, this dusty way, your hands, even without touching anything, will attract dust. So make sure you keep your hands off your face, whether it's your nose, into anywhere on your face. Well, keep them off. We'll also bring you political discussion. Yes, e-levy is still in. It's still in Ghana. We're not moving away from e-levy at all. At all. We're still there. We'll bring you discussions on that, what is ensuing in Parliament, or what we project Parliament is going to do this week. Major topical news items also, most of them in our newspaper, on the newspaper headlines segment as well. But before we do all that, it's a brand new day and it's a brand new word. What's the word of the day? What are we learning today? Today being the 24th, it's a Monday. I have this for you, of course, from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and the word is intemperate. Intemperate, or some will say intemperate. I say intemperate. Now, intemperate is an adjective. We use it in describing people, perhaps their character, an action, okay, something that is done, an action, something that is done. And so we describe that action as being intemperate, or a person as being intemperate. We can even describe the weather as being intemperate. For me, Hamatan is intemperate. You understand why I say so in a minute. Intemperate means having extreme conditions, or having or showing a lack of emotional calmness or control. So one who does not have a lack or has a lack of emotional calmness, or usually not in control. They don't have control over their emotions. That person can be said to be intemperate, like the Hamatan. Today I'm describing the Hamatan as being intemperate, especially to me. Well, a plant is able to survive in intemperate conditions. Some plants do, and that's by way of an example how to use intemperate in your sentences. The journalist apologized for her intemperate rant against the mayor. Okay, more on that. It is probably useful for us to let our ideas flow with intemperate fervor on topics about which we care passionately. So especially with journalists, we can, sometimes we allow our emotions to flow uncontrollably on issues that really, really, really bother, they really bother us, or they bother on the lives of the people that we care about. So yes, that is the citizens of Ghana. We do that a lot. Now, did you know, talking about where this word is coming from, intemperate means not well tempered. And when we talk about tempered, we are talking about something that does not mix well, is not well mixed. Okay, let's look for that. It's not well mixed or balanced. The word comes from the Latin intemperatus, a combination of in and the verb temperare, okay, meaning to temper or to mix. To temper or to mix. You know, when we mix, and especially the ladies, when you mix in dough, you really want it to mix. So we keep molding and then blending, and with our hands and all that, whether you take it to the mill or whatever you do with it. So when we're saying something is intemperate, we're saying that it didn't mix well. So you don't have a good mix of your emotions. So that's what Hamatan does to me. While it's giving me some chills, when you lean against something, that place feels so hot that it would even sweat. And yet the weather has a chill and is dry and is blowing dust everywhere. Now that brings to mind, I was wondering, what would Ghana be in the Hamatan season if all our streets were tarred, our compounds, have been paved and all that without the dust or less dust? Can we see ourselves in that position? And how would Hamatan feel? Well, maybe it feels worse for us because of our living conditions, what we've done to our environment. So maybe it's about time we start putting things right. Less of the dust. The weather isn't responsible for the dust, It's about us. It's what we do to our environment. So let's put things right and let's see how we deal with Hamatan. This is by way of the word of the day, intemperate. I hope you do get your emotions in check and have control over them, so no one describes you as being intemperate. And we will be right back after this break.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwanda, fly the dream of Africa.
Water, but you're not getting your mouth. And that's all I'm about to order. The rock you are fire.
Malaria and tea. You are yet more bono.
But you have to figure.
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo. I shouldn't the customers. When you say, Mammy, I am smart. I perceive Malakio. I'm man the buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want to mean. And now Emma when we are at war. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And try better one. And the CB Malakio. You didn't know. And now kick out bomb as soon as I CB Malakio. And no one so there. And I don't grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing your ma appeal for. About a woman for. Any quada won't in fear do.
Susiana, what would you with you?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato imu adia to Musa and
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwanda, fly the dream of Africa.
Welcome back after that commercial break. Yes, you did hear from our sponsors, but now you get to hear from me. And my first word after that break, I'm just reminded, not that I'm laughing, but I remember how Nigeria trolled us last week. Yes, Ghana, after that loss or unfortunate performance at the AFCON. Some of us are not so, engrossed in what is happening in AFCON. We just want to hear the scoreline, and we want to know that our country is moving forward, is progressing, and we have hope, or we had hoped that Ghana would have brought the trophy home. Well, even amidst all the issues that had ensued prior to our entering, into the AFCON proper, we were wondering and hoping that we were going to bring something good. A second or third position wouldn't even have been bad at all for us. But last week, well, all those dreams, we had to back them for maybe some years or a year or some months later. And it wasn't so nice at all for me to see Nigeria troll us like that. With all the Ghana must go bags and all those comments and all that, knowing the record that they have, especially in this AFCON league or premiership. What do you call it? Yes, this AFCON. So they tournament. Thank you very much. So it was as a surprise what happened yesterday night. I watched the match. Yes, I had to risk some of my sleep hours, sit down because I thought Nigeria was going to. In fact, I had mixed feelings. I said, if these people lose this match, the way I'm going to laugh at them, you know, on beating record. They've won every game. They've won every game. And little did they know, I'm sure they went in with all the confidence as well. Little did they know that coming home was that easy. I'm wondering what is going to happen to the Nigerian team. Well, maybe they will clap for them, but whatever it is, they have joined the association of crash outs. Those that have been crashed out. Tunisia crashed them out of the race. For they didn't even make top three. They didn't make. It's not like I'm so happy. I'm sad. I'm sad for them as well, but for the trolling and the backlash they gave to us. And my condolences goes not to the Super Eagles team, but my condolences goes to all those who hoped so much, saw light, for Nigeria, so much so that you went to bed. Unfortunately, you had to sleep hungry, disappointed, dejected. What are the adjectives? So are they also going to go home with Ghana must go? Since we've collected oil, we brought all our Ghana must goes back to Ghana and Accra. Well, I think you'll be left with black polythene bags, right? So you go home with your black polythene bags. We are here. Whether you won all your matches and this was the only loss, whether you failed all and you have just one draw, whatever it is, we are all back to the same position. We're here. We're here. We're here. And we meet with you. Funny enough, we meet with you also for the World Cup qualifiers, right? Okay. I leave that alone. I leave that particular issue alone because we will bring you AFCON updates later in another show right after A.M Ghana. So we have a very good morning, wonderful planned morning for you. No wonder the streets of Accra very quiet on a Monday. You go out, it's very quiet too. Usually the cheer, the way people, the seriousness with which people attack Monday morning. You go out and it is quiet. I'm sure there are lots of loss. In this stage, I wish I was a betting company. Hey, Akamanya Skapa now. Anyway, let's do the newspaper headlines. And of course, we start with Daily Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. And their screaming headline has to do with Milovan Rajevac. To sack Milo or not. I think at this particular stage, we have to make the name full because Milo, Stakeholders divided over Black Stars. Stakeholders divided over Black Stars. Stakeholders in Ghana football are sharply divided on how to salvage the Black Stars following their abysmal performance at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon, which saw the team crash out at the first hurdle. While some insist on a radical approach, the outright dismissal of the head coach Milovan Rajevac and the dissolution of the national team, others are calling for cool heads, sober reflection, and a measured approach to the way forward. Whatever your take is, remember that we are live on Facebook. Yes, Adwa TV Ghana. So send in your feedback, send in your comments, send in your suggestions, whatever it is that bothers you about the headlines I'm going to give. Do so. Our WhatsApp line is also there. It's right there on the bottom left of your TV set. Send in your WhatsApp messages. I will read them within the show as and when I receive them. Okay. So yes, a picture of rather, should I say depressed, or is that his usual look? Milovan Rajevac, as his fate hangs in the balance. New Year school opens today. New Year school opens today. We know that most of the private schools have already reopened and they are going to school. But New Year school reopens today. page 16 holds that story. And still on education, especially basic school academic year or the academic calendar 2022, trimester system is staying. So hold your guns, everyone. Trimester system is back. Yes, we have reverted to the trimester system. Vice President attends UN Security Council meeting, and SHC, that State Housing, begins assessment for Apiate. This name, I remember battling with it here on Thursday, and it wasn't made any simple for me because the spelling keeps changing. Over it, I was just watching the news throughout the weekend where I could get better visuals, So I was just checking, changing and changing channels. And it's like every channel has its own spelling for it. This is Apiachi or Apiachi, right? And some Apiachi, Apiachi, Apiate, like Reginald is confronting me with it right now. Apiate, Apiate, after having his blows of Banku, he's here telling me Apiate. My mouth can't mention it, okay, because I've not eaten what he has eaten. But rebuilding starts, rebuilding of, yes, some of these. I don't know what would be your take on this particular issue. I have a bother with it. Yes, I love the fact that rebuilding is going to commence so soon because this is people's livelihood that we are talking about. But I don't know who is going to foot the bill. Should it be the mining or shouldn't it be the mining companies? Those who, what was that? Is it Maxam, Chirano or whatever it is? I think they have to be foot. If not, the whole thing, a heavy chunk of the bill must go to them. I don't know if we have enough for it, especially since we are trying our best to enforce e-levy. Now, I've been thinking the whole weekend, I've been thinking for Ghana. Mindayo, that's why I'm in black this morning. Mindayo for Ghana. I've been thinking about our COFEX because e-levy. Reginald say, oh, Pamacho. I've been thinking for Ghana. I know my hair. I've started growing some gray strands at the back, so maybe after you want to have a look at it. But let's go to the back page, the flip side. Kotoko Pip. Is it Mediana or Mediama? I thought it was Mediama, or it's a new team. But the spelling here is Mediana. Anyway, because I don't know much about it, I'll mention as I see Media. Okay. It's Mediama. They've corrected it here. Asante Kotoko 1, Mediama 0. So, all right. They've kicked them. Yeah. So you go bare-chested because you kicked them. Whatever. But Karela stand Hearts with a late. Oh, Hearts. I thought you were going to give me something to jubilate about, What happened to Hearts? And they are 8th on the table too. Okay, I'm not doing sports for today. It's okay. Enough for daily graphic. Welcome. Good morning, Reginald. How are you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. I like your attire this morning.
I'm liking yours too. Blue certainly looks good on black, and I like how you're rocking the black. But your complexion also makes black stand out. Kudos to all blacks.
I thought I was mourning.
Were you mourning?
Yes.
So you're mourning the people of Apiate?
That I heard a lot of reasons to.
Right.
Last week was not good at all.
Exactly.
You heard of the explosion again at.
Yes. There was a gas explosion in an area close to Kasi in the Ashanti region, and fortunately there has not been reports of any mortal casualty, but about 50 houses have been destroyed and the people within displaced as well. And it just came, just a few more hours after 24 hours, we experienced the Apiase explosion. And funny enough, there has been another vehicle that, also caught fire. This time a private vehicle, and that was somewhere in the western region.
This weekend?
Yes, just over the weekend. We don't know what's happening. We really don't know what's happening, but I think that people should be more careful. And for the case of Apiate, you were mentioning about, those mining companies that these explosives were designated to, having, to take care of some of the bills. Well, they have, to some extent, as the vice president put it, held a conversation, and the consensus was that they're going to support the people to provide, temporary structures for them to dwell in. But unfortunately, as of Friday, the people were still stranded, especially the males, sleeping outside a designated hotel that they were supposed to dwell in. And these are people who are traumatized, and if not properly managed, it could, spark into something else. Yesterday, if you monitored the airways, you'd hear of a woman who went back to the rebels because, according to her, she has some 1,500 Ghana cedis and a ton of gold trapped in there, and she actually cannot even relocate where her house where it used to be. And that is how severe the situation is.
And somebody might think it is materialism, but it isn't. It's trauma. It is a psychological thing.
Exactly. And I mean, it's evidence that not just somebody who reports to have lost 1,005 cedis and a ton of gold. There were other people who were just standing there monitoring the rubbles and what is left of their buildings in awe. They cannot seem to fathom it, and that is the extent of the trauma. They just wake up, go stand there and watch the buildings like that. I try to place myself in their shoes, and whatever I felt sincerely cannot be even a percentage, the minutest percentage of what they are going through. Our prayers rest with them, and we pray that every individual, let me say kudos to all the corporate organizations or individuals who have made it a point to support these persons, especially the Roman Catholic Church in Apiati that has given its church hall for residents or temporary residents of these people. Now let's go into the daily guide. Don't turn Parliament into a boxing arena. Fedi Blaine indicates, and yes, tomorrow we're expecting Parliament to resume after they went on recess in December. And we're expecting some conversations about the e-levy. Yesterday it was in the airwaves that majority leader has indicated that the e-levy has been passed. The response from the minority is that the majority should dare implement the e-levy. We don't know what's going to happen, but with this preemption or preliminaries to the resumption of Parliament tomorrow, I fear what might happen. I've seen too much in too many of these blows. It seems that it has become a norm now, where when a consensus is not properly drawn, things culminate into a brawl. Eventually, some blows being exchanged. We don't want to see that. And, well, we'll talk about some of the allegations leveled against the Speaker himself when we get to the newspaper review segment. In the meantime, on page 6, Maxim suspended. Mines inspector sacked as well. Another story here, captured in page 3, says the 66 million Ghana city full trial of ex-Senate boss and others begin. Stories on page 3 that indicates that Baumia attends UN Secretary Council meeting. A picture of His Excellency Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Stories on page 3. Grab a copy for yourself. Reading to written. Big story here. Apiatic explosion. Now, as confusing as the pronunciation of the town's name is, the spelling has had several derivations. We have the APPIATSE. We have the APIATSE. We have the APPIATE and the APIATE.
And one that changes even the I to an E as well.
I see. So I'm not surprised when my friend said, "Oh, Charlie, hear the Apiache news." I was like, "Why? What's up?" No, you. A friend of mine from home. Yeah, you don't usually speak Ghana with me. You're bro. My friend spoke Ghana. He said, Charlie, oh no, Apiache news saying, what's up? Where from that? Who is Apiache? Well, so over the weekend, an interesting picture was circulating about Coach Milo. We saw a picture of him with I don't know who. Maybe the sports fanatics can tell us, but the caption was "See Milo and Nido." I'm sure you've seen the pictures. One Milo and a friend of his, if he's Nido, I don't know. Some are saying milk, I don't know. So they're sitting by the poolside, and this is what it says: GFA boots out Milo. So now we don't have a cup, we don't have Milo. How can we try tea? On the back page, say again. Obanukogo. Well, we'll buy it in a rubber like that. Back page sports, of course. Kotoko beats Mediama to extend a lead. Drone stops EPL game. Wow. Ghana battle Nigeria for World Cup slots. Ghana battles Nigeria for World Cup slots. Well, the sports guys, they should come and tell us what this means for Ghana. I understand that in most of our matches with Nigeria, things turn out to be star. You see rivalry rather than
The
the
brotherliness.
brotherliness. I mean, for me, I think that football should only be a business of 22 people chasing one ball. But at the end of the day, it happens to be a tag
But
of
see
war.
the way Nigeria started.
Mm.
What they did to us last week.
Mm.
Only for them to also be crashed out yesterday.
Yes, but
And
at
then we
least,
meet-
at least they stood firmer. As okay, well, they just played after us, so you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known
So,
certainly.
and then it comes down that both of us have to meet for the World Cup qualifying.
So let's see.
So it is going. I think the rivalry, whatever level it was at, is going to increase. It's going to shoot right up.
Even now it's going to be more fierce because not just in the football scene, but in the entertainment scene as well. There's been a serious brawl between Nigeria and Ghana.
Heard.
And I think that the casa has become too much. After the playoffs between Ghana and Nigeria, we also want to see a boxing match between Shatawale and Burna Boy.
Please,
You see, the talking is too much.
please don't even push Shatawale in the ring.
Let me put him in the ring. The talking is too much. And talking about Shatawale, let me quickly jump into this one on the center spread of the Daily Guide. Well, over the weekend, Shatawale was seen flaunting his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. I don't know her name. Maybe she's the Melissa in Shatawale's Melissa. I don't know. We have we have a picture of her. You could see the couple actually smooching and kissing and doing all the things that he used to do with Shatamichi. I didn't say anything. That's it for the Daily Guide.
All right. The most authoritative newspaper, the Ghanaian Times, has this for you on the topic of introduction of the pre-tertiary semester system. I have already broken the ice on this, so it will no longer be new to us. But government makes a U-turn, and I think it is for the better. Government makes a U-turn as Education Ministry reinstates trimester calendar.
I'm becoming disappointed in the Education Minister. Before he assumed office, in fact, when his appointment came out, look, Ghanaians were praising the gentleman.
Oh yeah, with all the accolades. Right?
He has a school in the United States. He's going to bring in important.
Yes.
He's helping the people in his constituency. I think he was doing better as a member of parliament than as the education minister. It's unfortunate, but this is the sad truth in my vein, because we were expecting pragmatic measures in the educational sector. What we've rather seen is a ridicule of the Ghana Education Service, our educational system, and a disrespect to teachers and major stakeholders in the educational sector as well. And so let me say good morning to the Education Minister. I am getting disappointed sincerely, and I believe that a lot of Ghanaians are getting disappointed. People would have thought that for somebody that a lot of trust was reposed into you, some of these mistakes would rather not be made. But unfortunately, we keep playing ping pong Otherwise, table tennis. You serve,
With our teachers.
yes,
And
and we are smashing the educational system left, right, center. We are not playing with anything but our future. We are playing with our future. Let's get our
I
policies
think
right.
that is about
We
time
should
that
test our policies, have conversations with, the great minds in the sector, have a broader stakeholder consultation. And I always have a problem when they say broader stakeholder consultation because they pick up a few people and then they say it's a broader stakeholder. Who are those stakeholders? Did you even speak to the parents? Did you speak to any representatives of these schools, the children,
teachers.
not necessarily the teachers, but I'm talking about even perhaps the prefectship of the school,
Okay.
amongst other things. Yes,
SRC.
the SRC, they're young ones, of course, but if you learn, you would know that knowledge comes from every walk of life. It even comes from children. Children could teach you things that you may never have thought of. And so when they say broader stakeholder consultation, I really have a lot
Especially
to
when the
worry
word
about.
broader comes in. Yeah. Okay.
Broad is quite relative. Are you done with the Guinean times now?
No, that was
Okay.
just my first story.
I think I just
Anyway,
cut in on
no,
that.
I like the way you went because I think that you mirror exactly what I'm feeling right now. So more condolences pour in for victims of a Piatti explosion. Another spelling. CRI applauds minister for efforts to transform education system. That's on page 7. Let me get a little bite, a little juice from there. So the CRI applauds Minister of Education for efforts to transform education sector. The executive director of the Child's Rights International, Mr. Bright Appiah, has commended the current leadership at the Ministry of Education for exhibiting strong footing in their bid to transform Ghana's education sector. He applauded Minister of Education Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum for his commitment towards removing barriers that limit quality education in both urban and rural areas of the country. I'm sure that the story holds more, but I see pictures of them and I really would want to delve into this to know what exactly he's talking about, especially since this is not, that's not the way we're seeing things right now.
Well,
And especially as I heard him
Child's
also.
Rights International.
Yeah,
It's a how should I even put it?
the advocate for.
Yeah, I mean it's an advocacy body,
Yeah.
not a really professional body that is dedicated to one sector.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
professional bodies, that
But I
are
did
focused.
for just to chip in that I did hear him. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday on the airways speaking against the semester
Well,
system?
so
Yes,
that's
he
it.
spoke. He really spoke. He said it goes against the child's rights because we know. I mean, looking at should it be the biology, the makeup of children, they wouldn't be able to be in school for that long. So he did speak against it. So I don't know.
That's what I was coming to. That
Okay.
they're not specific to one task. They look at everything and anything that bothers
On
child's
children.
rights,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm sure that they have looked into the pros and cons of all the actions by the education ministry, specifically the minister, and they may have weighed. Yes, it's not wrong to say that the education minister is trying to reform, is doing everything possible. To some extent, you will think that he's adamant, in his bid to reform the educational system in Ghana.
Yeah.
Certainly, Ijoma. If you look at times now, you realize that the education that you and I witnessed earlier in the country needs a lot of reforms.
A lot.
But I believe that these reforms should be informed. Not just pick them up from
Anything,
anywhere. If you
anywhere.
watch PM Ghana on Thursday, I had a conversation with one educationist, BB, and he told us about several. You need to look at the society. You need to look at the environment. You need to look at background. You need
Where
to look
we
at
are heading.
exactly. You need to look at so many things before you introduce a particular program. Before you even change from a trimester system to a semester, a system. And so yes, the bid to reform the educational sector is very welcome. But we shouldn't just pick and copy blindly because, I mean,
get you.
if you are copying blindly, then
I get you.
in
I get you.
yeah.
All right, so Minerals Commission also shuts down Maxam Company, and that story is on page 7. 5.1 million euros tissue paper company set to begin operations in February. And on sports, I'm not reading that one. Princesses win away in Uganda. Talking about the FIFA Under 20s World Cup qualifier. The Princesses win away in Uganda and Kotoko over Power Mediema. It's all there. It's all there. The one about Huskies, I'm not reading that. So that's it for the most authoritative newspaper.
Let's move away from authority to the new crusading guide. COVID-19 vaccine mandates are illegal, says Sami Jemfi, communications director for the National Democratic Congress. COVID-19 vaccine mandates are illegal. Noche ni Note Owo the fourth installed as new Osu Manche. Noche ni Note Owo the fourth installed as new Osu Manche. You were giving your accents to that. Osu,
Yeah.
tell us about it.
Actually, I learned of it yesterday, but I
Okay.
was happy because of the family, the black tie.
Oh, okay. So you directly related to ni
Indirectly.
Noche Owo.
For my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are happy at least they have a mancha.
Oh, so you're a royal.
We hope that we see changes
Well,
in Osu.
yes. Let's see. Let's see about that. Long
We
term
hope.
chieftaincy disputes. Finally, there's someone eventually crowned. I hope that nobody else rises up, to claim chieftaincy. Minerals
true.
Commission. Minerals Commission shuts down Maxim Company as Lands Minister commiserates with victims. Now, a CEO of YEA promises more jobs in Western North. CEO of YEA Youth Employment Agency promises more jobs in the Western region. And these are some of the good news that we want to hear, not unfortunate incidents. State Housing Company to rebuild Bogosu Apiati. State Housing Company, and if you see the pictures, you would realize that the SHC has begun numbering the houses that have been affected. And we pray that this doesn't become a ground for politicization. People's lives are affected. People's homes, livelihoods are affected. Worse off the young ones who may find it uncomfortable dwelling or even continuing their lives as young ones. Now, the back page of the New Crusading Guide has sports. We call it the Sports Crusade. Under 20 WWC. WWC is it not for wrestling? Anyways, under 20 WWC qualifier, Salamatu
World
and
Cup qualifier.
World
No,
Cup.
they shouldn't have been WWC.
Yeah.
Just one W.
Yeah.
Maybe one W.
And now I'm lost.
WC. So
Where are the sports guys? So where are the sports guys? Okay, let's read it as it is. Under 20 WWC. WWC is wrestling. Anyways, Salamatu and Enima give Ghana away win in Uganda. Well, Qatar 2022, Ghana and Nigeria to renew rivalry in World Cup playoffs. Interesting headline there. Sacked Melo van Rijwijk rejects $270,000 handshake. And if you don't like Krawi, like.
yay! Good, he rejected.
Other interesting stories in the New Crusading Guide. If your Milo is finished, drink cocoa.
Well. I think I don't know, but for me, when somebody rejects money, I'm handing over. I'm all the same happy. The Chronicle.
The Bible says that God loves a cheerful giver.
Yes,
Yeah, if
I'm
you
cheerfully
exhibit,
giving, and you don't want it, no problem.
you insist. You see, sometimes people
I'm
want.
cheerfully
Sometimes people want to take, but they
Please,
need
then that
a
is pride
little.
speaking, and pride is nowhere in the Bible. So if I'm giving you and you don't collect, you want to show pride.
Pride
Please,
is in
me,
the Bible, why?
I don't.
But we all have
I mean,
ego. We all have
that
ego,
is
and
it. Not
it-
ego
it-
when
it-
you are receiving. Not ego when the basic ego. Anyway, talking about the egos, super egos.
I wasn't here.
I see.
I didn't hear you say eagle. Okay.
I see. Is this
I
an
won't tell
eagle or
anybody.
what is this?
Oh yeah, it's an eagle.
Okay, so the chronicle
Oh wow.
who called is a sphere of the nation, the true independent. One dead. I saw this as well during the weekend. One dead, another injured at Acro SHS. Yeah, as students confront invaders. I was very happy that the students stood for, but to the extent of murder was what actually bothered me. But these people
I was.
entered the girls, the females dormitory, and they wouldn't have it. Yeah.
I was really worried when I saw the news. I was, has it gotten to that? Well, I mean, it's not the first time a thing like that is happening
Yes.
in a senior high school.
Yeah.
Even in my alma mater, it happened. Yes, but not in my time. I mean, before we went and we came to hear of it.
Okay.
You know, I think that this has become a problem in especially areas where schools are situated within the townships, and that, you know, the town people usually tend to invade the schools.
Yeah.
It's not only the girls' dormitories that are usually targeted. For my case, it was a boys' school, but this person came there trying to, you know, pick up our Caspers and the, you know, the fine shoes that the boys would have washed and all that. And unfortunately, the key thing that I want to touch on is
Yeah.
the way we relate with criminals. Once
Yeah.
they are found, you know, instant justice. Interestingly, instant justice has reduced a bit. There was a time when instant justice was a rise, certainly because people lost confidence in the police at the time.
Yeah.
With gradual, you know, steps, confidence within the police sector has been rebuilt. But with all the confidence we have in the police of the country, we still, you know, tend to lynch. And sometimes these people are innocent. Sometimes they are innocent, and we don't even listen to, we don't hear them out. And you take a look at what happened to Major Mahama, Captain Mahama also. And it's one of those incidences, a very innocent person who was only suspected. And the IGP shared a concern that once you pick somebody up as a suspect, one thing remains, that their humanity must remain intact. Don't treat people just anyhow, lynching them. They still have rights. And it's sad that students who are supposed to know better, students who are supposed to know better, these are the people that are being trained
Yeah.
free with the taxpayers' money to come and lead the nation to a better stance in the near future, would end up in such. And it tells what we are reducing the country into. These young folks actually learn from what they see. And if this is what they are doing, then it means that this is what we do.
Exactly.
And we need to check that.
My issue is that you were able to overpower this person, so why not bind him up?
Exactly.
Why not bind him up?
Oh, the beatings here, like some small beatings, no, yeah. But you know, to go to the extent of lynching, I mean.
Let's continue with it. Our time is fast spent. Ghana football is full of corruption. Not my words, but Tony Yeboah, the former striker of the senior national team, and he was speaking to the media at the Agola Hotel. That's in Ahojo, Kumasi.
His own hotel.
His own hotel. Okay. Ghana football is full of corruption. Okay. Another variant spelling of Apiate. Here again. Minister takes sweeping action. So there's a picture of Samuel Jinapo, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources here. He directs the Mineral Commission to interdict the Chief Inspector of Mines. Okay, Chief Inspector of Mines, and temporarily suspends the manufacture of the explosives. Oh, okay. So I think there is nothing new here for sports. It's still the corruption allegation there. I think you should come in with yours, and then I wrap up with the...
All right, let me take a quick twist with the Daily Statesman. I'll begin with the back page, which has sports. Manchester United here. Important Marcus Rashford shows he can be a winner. Now, another one here, Mark Magsai and Gary Russell's 11-year featherweight world title reign. That's it for sports in the Daily Statesman. Now let's look at the major headlines. Balbia attends UN Security Council meeting, so it's not secretary. So I paused again when I was reading that capture in the other newspaper because, well, it was shortened, and if you see UN Sec, you definitely think United Nations Secretary. And this Security Council meeting. So the Vice President is there, and I believe that he will put in some digitization. NSS to become employable agency, says a CBA entry. NSS to become employable agency. And another story here. Maxim company shuts down on the orders of the lands minister. Government and GFA in deadlock over Milovan. There is a question there. See the story on page 2. Now the big story here. Apiate reconstruction begins soon. Here's the thing. How soon is soon? That's the question. How soon is soon? The government has assured, but we're still worried because even on the day they were promised to be housed, the females and the children were housed, of course, by the benevolence of the Catholic Church in Apiate. But the men remain stranded even at the gates of a promised land. And we are asking, as far as the reconstruction is concerned, to begin soon, how soon is soon? That's it for the Daily Statesman.
Okay, so and that will be it also for the newspaper headlines. We will not leave you hanging. We wrap it up with Ezra 10:4. Ezra 10:4. Arise, for it is your task, and we are with you. Be strong and do it. I think that, that's a word of inspiration for those helping to restore Apiate. So with that, we'll go for a quick commercial break. We have the next segment coming on. Don't go anywhere. It promises to be, just go, very informative, very educative as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Water, but when I get your mouth. And that's all I bet now order. You are fired.
Malaria nti aba yi waye juma bono.
What you have to feed it.
Malaria therefore ya o. Enti awo ahire ne customers ni. Wa hu ne se maami aye smart. Apa CB Malakio. Amma ne ba ya ode iko school. She se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a ontimi ni. And now Emma will be around to walk. So we ye malaria test na ebi wo mu a edra bedewa ene sibi malakio ye dinuna ne hahama na akeka bom asone so aye sibi malakio edra wo nso de enya nyonkra o aye tata she
edra yi nyema apemfo abate a wo ma wo manufo ene nkwada wo ni mfie dumie
Suziana, wow, how would you win here?
FD Ashusha Sa Ejedi Nkrato Imu Adia to Muse Eye.
Announcements on Adwa TV. Contact Adwa TV for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 05092 57754 0209494 or visit our marketing decks at Step Work Promises. Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
Yeah, CB will make up now. I'm correct. What's your best mankasa?
that's it
You want Oh, middle. You captures back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules and I make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew the dada. And one year packaging I had the
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du ye. Enka ho.
Susanna, Ghana man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA Aji Ejedi Nkrato Yatu.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Malaria nti abayi waye juma bono malaria defo ya o enti awo ahire ne customers ni wahu ne se maami aye smart apesi bi malakio amma ne baya odi ko school she se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a onti mi onia ent na ho ema we mu biara to wo so we malaria test na ebi wo mu a edra bedewa ene sibi malakio ye dinuna ne hahama na akeka bom asone so aye sibi malakio edra wo nso de enya nyonkra o aye tata she
edra yi nyema apemfo abate a wo ma wo manufo ene nkwada wo ni mfie dumie
Suziana, wow, how would you win here?
FD Ashusha Sa Ejedi Nkrato Imu Adia to Muse Eye.
Announcements on Adwa TV. Contact Adwa TV for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 05092 57754 0209494 258 or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork Promises. Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
CB women capsules now. I'm correct. What's your best mankasa?
That's it.
Who anyone? Oh, middle. You capsules back one CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules na make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And one year packaging I the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do ben pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du ni. Enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750.
FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Big thanks to you for staying with us. As Ijoma indicated, or going into the newspaper review segment, and you're certainly watching AM Ghana here. Whatever we're going to speak about, of course, you can join in the conversation by joining us on social media, TV in Ghana on Facebook, where we're streaming live. And today we want to look at something that broke up over the weekend. The majority and Parliament held a meeting, and out of those that meeting, some specific concerns came up. Maybe you and I didn't know that the e-levy has been approved, but the majority leader says he's surprised that people are saying that it has not been approved. We also had retaliation from the minority side. They have dared the majority to approve the e-levy. Now, in the same vein, the majority is indicating that they cannot count on the speaker to conduct the business of the house. And some other matters arising. We'll be speaking on these and other matters in the newspapers. In the meantime, I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Emmanuel Quarting.
Yeah, Emmanuel Quarting.
Quarting. Yes. All right. He's the communication member for the New Patriotic Party. Mr. Quarting, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to AM Ghana. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Well, you came all the way from, should I say the central region?
Yeah.
So, Accra, how was your journey?
It was okay. It was okay. Where I'm living, you see, the place has actually expanded. You've had a lot of people settle in that area, and therefore you have a lot of traffic on the road coming. So normally, it is advisable that you set off early. If you are supposed to get to town and get to your office early and on time, then you do. Other than that, you will face a little challenge.
The sky train would have helped, wouldn't it?
Oh, surely. It's something that in the future, Ghana we should have.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, every future oriented country is implementing, such measures. And so let me say kudos to the VRA this morning. They want to start an electric bus project as part of their anniversary to make Akosombo a more digital town. And yes, we're all moving, digitally. Anyways, speaking about moving digitally, we know what the digital platforms in the country brought us. We look at the mobile money platform. We look at electronic banking platforms. They have become, so amazing, making people's lives easier. And apart from people's individual lives becoming easier, the state is also raking in some revenue from taxing the service providers. But now the state wants to tax individuals who transact through these digital means. And so came the e-levy, the idea of the e-levy, 1.75% to be charged on some transactions. Over the week, the past week, the finance minister indicated, some exceptions for the e-levy in a revised manner, now which he hopes to present to Parliament tomorrow, or perhaps tomorrow onwards. However, over the weekend again, the majority held a meeting, a conference, if I would put it that way, and news about the e-levy broke up. According to majority leader, the e-levy has been implemented. Now, this comes as a surprise because, of course, Ghanaians were expecting to have started paying the 1.75% from January 1st if it was implemented. We're not seeing such. Where is the majority leader picking that information from?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers.
Yeah, you are.
You see, majority leader spoke on technicality. Technically, as we stand here, or as it stands, the budget as contained in the 2022 budget, that's the year levy, is passed. You see, in the presentation of budget, generally, after the presentation, we have something that we call the appropriation bill. We have something that the parliamentarians do, that is the various committees, who consider estimates from the various ministries. That is what they do. And I can tell you, as we sit here, the various ministries' estimates has been approved, which include almost every committee. We have majority members and we have minority members. They all considered it. And those estimates have been approved by Parliament. You get it? And all the year levy as it stands now has components on almost all the ministries, because there are specific things that they are going to do. So if the majority leader is saying that the budget as the year levy as contained in the budget 2022 has been passed, technically it stands as it is now. However, if the minority so wish to reject it, as the majority did when they passed it, there are procedure that they have to go through it. Until they do that, as it stands now, the budget is passed. And the appropriation bill has also been passed. The appropriation bill, as it is the power given to government to assess funds that will come, or the expected revenue that the government want to get from taxes and other things. If the appropriation bill is not passed, government cannot touch money. And as it stands now, the appropriation bill has also been passed. Before it was passed, the revenue assurance was also considered. The revenue assurance is also the things that we put in place to ensure that those revenue targets that government want to get are being efficiently implemented.
Well, many, I listened to conversations over the weekend. If the appropriation bill, like you put it, has indeed been passed, and the e-levy, a component of the appropriation bill, how is it that as of last week, the finance minister still, looking at revision of the e-levy, and then a reintroduction of the e-levy to the House for consideration. Is the finance minister, just like all other Ghanaians, lost in understanding the passing of the e-levy?
Thank you, my brother. You see, no government or as an individual, you can't be rigid. You can't be insensitive. You can't be unconcerned about the plight of Ghana. You have a good motive to do something to benefit the citizenry. The citizenry have concerns about it. As a government, you can't sit there and say that once it has been passed, I'm implementing it. No. You see, one other thing, from this Thursday, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Information are embarking on sensitization. What I believe my party or the government failed to do is that we could not give a lot of education. We should have done that, because as it stands, some Ghanaians don't even understand. All that they know that they are going to deduct some money from us. But I know that as human beings or as citizenry, if we have taken our time, which we are coming to do, explain to Ghanaians the need for the e-levy. When we charge you the e-levy, what intends to help the economy, the benefits that we are going to derive from it. If the Ghanaian understands it, it will be easy for us to implement it. So the Minister of Finance going back to Parliament doesn't change anything. It shows that the government is listening to the citizenry, and therefore we must do some adjustments. And in doing those adjustments, the government must also you should know that we already have our revenue target, which includes the e-levy. So if the government wants to reduce it or take some components out of it, it means that government must also find way of making it up so that our revenue target for the year 2022, we get it. So I'm saying that the government don't want to sit on concern and be insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians.
Well, we'll look at how this education is going to fare. Yes, indeed, the finance minister indicated that he himself, his deputies, and some selected members would go around the country sensitizing Ghanaians, a measure that many believe should have been done before the presentation of the e-levy to a parliament, even for approval. You're watching A.M Ghana here, and I'm here with Mr. Emmanuel Kwarteng. He speaks for the New Patriotic Party, and we'll go on a quick turnaround because after the break, we're joined in by a rep from the National Democratic Congress so that we can have a balanced conversation and viewpoint on the topics for discussion. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Malaria nti abayiwa yejuma bono. Malaria therefore yao enti awo ahire ne customers ni. Wahu ne se maami aye smart apɛ CB Malakio amma ne ba ya odi ko school Share. Say aduane si berry market echi ani malaria nti a ontimi ni. Onia, and now Emma we biara to wo. So we malaria test. Maybe wo mo a. Edra bedewa and sibi malagio. Ye dinu na ne hahama na keka bom asone so aye sibi malagio. Edra we so de. Anya no kra o. Aye tata she.
Edra yi nyema apemfo. Abate a woma womanfo. Ene nkwada won ni mfie dumie.
Suziana. What would you win here?
FD ahwehwe saa ejedi nkrato yi mu agye atomu se eye.
Announcements on Adwa TV. Contact Adwa TV for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork Premises. Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
CB women capsules now. I'm not correct. What's your best mankasa?
That's it.
Who anymore? Oh, middle. You capsules back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules na make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew that. And one year packaging I the
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo mpegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du enka ho.
Susanna, Ghana man man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750.
FDA aje edwede nkato yato.
You for staying with us. In case you just joined us, this is A.M Ghana Show on Adwa Television. My name, of course, is Reginald Addy, and this is the newspaper review here on the show. I'm joined in the studio, as I indicated before the break, communication rep for the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Elliott. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to A.M Ghana.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a while. How was your 2021 briefly, and how's your 2022? Just 30 seconds.
2021 just flitted away somehow. Yeah, we had quite some historic feelings where we lost some, and then some small battles were won here and there. And I mean, politically, we're happy to hold our members in parliament in check, and we think that it was a good year. We're just ready, battle ready for this year as well. And we hope God bless us all, and we, as a country, we keep our peace and all.
Well, I didn't ask your brother here, Mr. Kwarting, how his 2021 was and how his 2022. But Mr. Kwarting, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Kwarting.
Yeah.
Right. Now, how was it for you briefly, so that I'm not chased by...
You see, we, for the year 2022, for the year 2020 and 2021, it has been up and down because of we're hit by the pandemic. So nobody, even businesses and individual lives, were affected in a way. So nobody had a rosy, but we thank God that we have a government who cares a lot. So God, in His own wisdom, presented the Akufo-Addo for us at this time.
Right. And Akufo-Addo presented e-levy to Ghanaians, which is the matter for discussion this morning, Mr. Elliot. And so you joined us a while ago, but you indicated you were listening to Mr. Kwame.
Yeah, sure.
He's been touching on, you know, the fact that the majority leader had indicated that e-levy had been passed. He says that technically speaking, when you consider that the e-levy is a component of other ministerial budgets and also part of the appropriation bill, which has been passed to some extent, I would put it, the e-levy has technically been passed. But as we stand, the finance minister is yet to, you know, present the budget. The e-levy again reviewed a policy to Parliament for consideration. From where you sit, and your understanding of parliamentary procedure and government business, what comes into mind when a matter of discussion seems to technically have been passed already?
Yeah. See, thank you, my brother. As I said early on my way here, I was listening to my brother, and sometimes I found myself thinking, why do our MPP brothers behave the way they do?
How?
Because, you see, this e-levy, for instance, it's not going to be levied or taxed on just opposition, but on the general good. People are giving cogent reasons why they feel this thing will not work, especially in a sense that in other countries it has been tried and then it didn't work. As we speak now, in other countries, people are still demonstrating against it. We have a chance to now start something afresh. And people are saying, look, why don't we take our time, go back to the drawing board, engage more, and do it. Even the finance minister himself seems to be ready to do that. And then the other side of it is to, the way they do everything, bulldoze their way through everything. This thing that the deputy, the majority leader is saying, you can see it's quite a joke on us. And I believe so. Because just for you, when I was coming, I heard you mention to my brother that just 4 days ago, the finance minister mentioned that he's going to review it, take some 25% or something from it and all that, and then take it back to them and then see how it's going. So how can we be told this morning or yesterday, as it were, that it's been technically approved? On the 18th of December, Daily Graphic reports, appropriation bill approved minus 11. John Kuma on Friday mentioned that they are still engaging the minority. Then that they hope with time there will be a middle ground and all that. And then we are told by somebody that it's been technically approved. So I was happy when I saw a report this morning, Freddie Blay telling the majority leader that he should stop what he's doing and concentrate on his work in Parliament. You need consensus. You need engagement. Stop trying to bulldoze your way, because when you do that, you make your opponent stiff. He refuses to budge, and that's not the way to go. You understand? Because the moment you take that position, now NDC and all the party lines and everything will have all its eagle eyes on their MPs, because the question was, has something happened behind the scene for the majority leader to say that? What is that? What does he mean by technically approved? Where? But waiting for legislature. He's just playing on words and trying to confuse everybody. But that's not the way to go. And then people, my brother tried to turn something off air that the minority tries to create problems by just punching holes and all that. But it's not fair. Look at when they went to their conference, is it like 25? Their conference, recently they had a special congress in Kumasi or so and stuff. Look, after the minority, despite all their protests and everything, has sat down with them to agree on the appropriation bills and pass them. And look at what the president went to do there. That they are majority. They should insist on it. And that he thanks them, he applauds them for yeoman jobs done. Forgetting that they needed the other side to prove. Because I've always said, they can play on words, they can say whatever.
The argument is that they don't necessarily need the other side, because, of course, they have the numbers. I mean, yes, it's a split, but if you consider the position of the independent candidates,
well,
he's caucusing with the majority.
Yes, so
they have the numbers.
Yes, but you see what the they have the numbers on paper, yes, but you see what is causing them. that people who have been recently operated are being airlifted to come and sit in parliament with crutches. That mothers, nursing mothers who have just given birth have to leave their babies outside the country for 2 weeks and come and sit in parliament and now come and complain to us. All that would have been avoided if you do consensus building, if you engage your opponent, if you know you have a very good thing. And the point everybody is asking about is that, boss, from 2017, or if you can go back as 2015, coming back, the losses alone, 2019, 2020, we say it's COVID. But then, look, COVID was causing us that. But the wastages alone was 250 million. Then we come forward to 2021, and this thing goes up, and then you are not looking at where the problem is, where the wastage, how much is e-levy going to give us? Probably about 6.9 billion and stuff. When you are losing about 12 billion, why don't you rather look at where those leakages are and plug them, than trying to put all this on us? Now the e-levy that majority leader is telling us is being taken care of. The finance minister 4 days ago was revising it, even telling us that now when it's from your account to your wallet, you pay, but when you send it to somebody, the person will not pay and all that stuff. And so for us to be told that it's been technically approved, you should know, my brother, that this guy is just throwing dust in our eyes. I think he just want to confuse. You see, Lawrence Mensah or whatever, he is under threat. His position is under threat. The majority caucus have lost trust in his leadership. They feel he cannot take them to the promised land.
Where did you hear?
Oh, I'm telling you, you will see. Give us 3 months. You give us 3 months.
What will you prove?
Something is going to happen.
What will happen?
You are going to change him.
Are you prophesying?
I'm telling you, from what I've gotten on the ground. They've lost.
Prophesying.
When I see my brother, when I see my brother off air, he will tell you that, oh, that man is causing us problems. But when they sit on TV, they won't tell you.
Is it true? Is the majority leader causing I mean, when you look at how proceedings are going and how, you know, the leadership on the side of the majority is going, do you think that, okay, Mensah Bonsu, it's not being okay enough?
You see, like I said, for every leader, you might have your own shortcomings and other things.
Well, the point is, are those shortcomings drawing him back as a leader?
Drawing him back as a leader?
Yeah.
For us, we are okay. We are okay with his leadership. Okay. What we needed, like I said earlier on, is that the conference that we had, or the workshop that we had over the weekend, should have come. You get it, like my brother was saying. We didn't need to be. You see, some of the things that happened last year could have been avoided. You get it, and it's all leadership issues. You get it. So to some extent, but you can't say that he has failed us or whatever. He has.
So if you put it that way, then clearly the majority leader has failed the majority.
No, you see,
well, I'm saying this because, I mean, you look at what is happening in Parliament and how things, you know, culminate into the fisticuffs. And I have listened to the majority, both sides, and if you carefully analyze the minority side, all you realize is that the majority has failed several times and over to engage the minority. And this is a house of caucus. Yes, we have the minority caucus and the majority caucus, but they all need to caucus, make decisions, you know, refer with each other. Yes. Unfortunately.
My brother, you see, for every sitting of parliament, both the majority leaders, the minority leaders, they meet with speaker for a meeting before they come to the chamber.
The speaker himself,
and you see, and it has come up
himself. I mean, I represent our channel in Parliament, and I've heard the speaker himself, you know, expressing shock over certain allegations that he was conferred, that they've held meetings with him. Sometimes he's not aware.
You see, the Speaker of Parliament himself is under so much pressure from the party. So for MPP, our leadership, and what are the unfortunate incidents that happened in 2021, you get it. We are all hoping that it doesn't happen this time around. But when we say it is the fault of, or if you want to place any blame, you are placing it on the leadership of Parliament, not majority leader or not minority leader, but the leadership of Parliament. That is what that's where we should appropriately place the blame. You can't say the majority leader. You get it? Because sometimes there has been some occasions that in the room they have agreed on certain things, but when they come to the chamber, then they behave in a certain way.
I see. Now,
several times the majority have expressed shock of some of the issues that happened.
of course. So at a point, you don't know who is telling the truth and who is, doing otherwise. But speaking about, the position of the majority leader, the manner in which he came out with the, conversation that the e-levy has been approved, seems a bit misleading to the nation, as people are now confused. And if you listen to my guest last week on AM Ghana, Richard Kumado, he says that government is confused. And of course, if government is confused, then it will trickle down to the populace. Majority leader indicating that the e-levy has been approved is quite misleading.
My brother, it is not misleading. What
you are telling us that technically
it is technically approved.
But
no,
listen.
listen.
Operations were done without e-levy. It was set aside.
Hold on.
So how could it be approved?
Hold on, Mr. Elliot, hold on.
How was it set aside?
Read the daily graphic report from
What
Parliament.
was this? Listen, technically as we speak, the e-levy as contained in the 2022 budget has been passed. That is technically. So what I'm saying is that the majority leader is coming from what? The technical aspect of as it stands now. Can you if the finance minister is
when was it passed?
When was it approved?
When was it approved? The meeting, the 20th of December. That
I remember. I remember. I was there. A motion was raised for the approval. Now, as to whether it was concluded, that was where the conclusion emanated, and there was no conclusion on that. And so,
my brother. Do you know what brought the confusion? The confusion was not about the passage or the passing of the budget. The confusion
emotion was raised for the passage of the e-levy.
My brother,
and that was what the had it.
Let's allow.
What I'm saying is that technically, the budget has been approved.
The budget has been approved.
Which the e-levy is a component of the budget.
The
various estimates at the budget estimate for the various ministries and departments has been considered at the various committees,
so which
include the minority and the majority members. You get it? So technically it has been approved, but the finance minister want to make adjustment. Once a law has been passed, doesn't mean that the Parliament of Ghana or the ministry or agency who are supposed to implement it can't do anything. That is why he is going back to Parliament. So the fact that the finance minister is going to Parliament doesn't mean that the budget technically has not been approved.
Well, we see adamant, on the side of the approval of the e-levy, because as it stands right now, the minority has dared the majority to go ahead with the implementation of the e-levy. And for me, it sounds a bit worrying, that the majority side would be indicating that the e-levy has been approved, the minority daring the majority to approve any e-levy whatsoever. It is not clear. It is not clear as it stands right now. And as I indicated, my worry is that we're expecting them to resume tomorrow. We know how things have been between the two. What do you think might emanate from tomorrow when the parliamentarians...
The graphic report of 18 December. Controversial e-levy missing as Parliament approved appropriation bill. Parliament has approved the 2022
There's no doubt establishing that. Different sources, and we have also established.
Yeah.
Here
it was not passed. And that morning when you went for your special conference, it was at that morning that all the appropriation bills was passed, minus the e-levy because the minority asked that it be moved to the following Monday. It was that Monday meeting that created that, because when it was moved for discussion, somebody, the approval, the yes and the no, the speaker then, the second deputy speaker, Isiama was the one presiding. He then said the yes had it and the no's failed. And then it created that confusion, which in the afternoon, Joe Wise, first deputy speaker, came to preside, and then this thing didn't work. And so it was moved to next year, which is this year. So that e-levy has not been discussed, and that's the point. And that is where I'm saying that we are urging on all civilians and other civil society groups and everybody that, look, we better start up and talk to this current majority group, as they call themselves, led by James Sabosi. They are leading the country into some sort of chaos, because at a point where everybody is asking for consultation and sort of things for us to stakeholder meetings and stuff, for all to have a common front, they always want to use the bulldozer approach, which then necessitates that the opposition must also come with that opposite and opposite force to meet them. It's not. I don't think it's fair for the country. We have a policy you want to introduce. We are saying it's not good. Look at the benchmark issue. Like my brother was saying before I joined you, that the president is a listening government. How listening can you be, or how do you blame your incompetencies on a listening ability? Because the first thing is that you introduce a lot of policies and laws and taxes and stuff, and then when you hit the wall.
Well, is it not apparent from all indications that the current administration is a listening?
It is not, boss. Never.
I mean, look at what has happened in the education.
Boss, our time is
introduction of the
boss. Our time is not there. So let me tell you why they are not listening, boss. In envy, if you are a good manager, before you come out with a certain law and stuff, you engage people, you talk to them, you take them, so they are all aligned. You brought was it toll levy, and then you put it out. Tax on luxury cars, then you pull it out. What you are talking about education. When they brought out this semester by semester or whatever thing that they brought, everybody, the teachers themselves that you are going to work with, said they are not aware, they've not engaged it, and then now you've listened. No, but what does it tell you? Seriously, if you are a very incompetent person, every day you will do something and people will come at you, then you say I've put back. Every day you will do something and people will come at you and you say you've put back. What kind of leader are you?
Okay.
At a point you lose your leadership.
So putting the e-levy in perspective,
yes.
The government is adamant in implementing.
Now I'm thinking, I think that there are some cool heads in there. For instance, the deputy finance minister and his boss, the finance minister. If you listen to them, they are more amenable. They want to engage. They want to engage people. In fact, he has been saying this since he read the budget the last time. He's been saying that he wants to engage the minority. He wants to talk to them. But it is people like James Sabosu who are putting the rocks in his face, that the guy would not allow for such a thing. Because I'm thinking, 4 days ago, the finance minister gave a whole narrative, a very nice, and I felt a bit convinced that, look, the government is broke. He's broke, and he really needs money. And this thing will give him some 6.9, which will help shape things up. And so he really wants to push this through. And this guy wants to go through it the better way. Engagement, consultation. Let me do it. But then somebody out there also wants to, let's use force, which won't work.
Why? Well, now you speak about consultation, which is of utmost importance, because like I said, we're expecting that both sides would judge or see the best way forward. Now, what we are seeing now, per the action from the majority and the reaction from the minority verbally, it appears that even over the break, the majority did not take the pain to engage the minority on anything. And this is going to obviously delay the business of the House and also delay government business utmostly. However, Joe Wise also in the same meeting indicated that they cannot work with the speaker. Meanwhile, these are two sides. The speaker is only over there to preside over what has already been agreed on. Meanwhile, both sides are refusing. And we have a majority in parliament, and it is their responsibility to see to it that that conversation, that consensus is built. But nothing of that sort has been done. So who is actually delaying government business?
No, what I want to say is that, first of all, Joe Wise did not say that they cannot work with this. He said we
Cannot
rely.
Rely.
We cannot
Well, if you can't rely, can you work with someone you can't rely on?
If you say you can, if you say you cannot work with the person's position, it's enshrined in our government in the constitution. You can't do anything.
But I can't rely on you. I can't work with your facts.
Fine. Let's put it that way. It means the same, all the same.
For example, I, for instance, personally, I have always trusted Aban Bagwen. But what he did on the 20th made me doubt him. Nobody
to seek the leave of the house.
You said
to seek
and that he knew what was going to happen. But you see, like I'm saying, the conference that happened last Saturday should have happened long ago. If you look at the various speakers at the conference, at the workshop, they have told the majority, the MPP parliamentarians, to what? To soften their stance. We should engage. We should not be too rigid in our discussion with the minority. And I think that is what is going to help us do government business and be successful as a government. Certainly. So
both sides fail to do that. How does that,
no, you see, if we
make the speaker unreliable?
So if we fail to do that, we will be the losers. So that's what I'm saying, is that henceforth, those utterances and other things are going to turn down. We are going to engage them. From Thursday, the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Finance, we are going to do sensitization program across the nation. What I told you earlier on is that the Ghanaian just need to understand the yield levy and what benefits we are going to derive from the yield levy. If the Ghanaian understands it, we don't have issue, and that is what we are doing here. We are going to get our infrastructure, and as a
what understanding do we expect Ghanaians to have when all they know is that you are going to, at the end of the day, tax them 1.75 for their transaction?
What it is that the Ghanaian needs some education. The Ghanaian needs some assurance. Do you know that some people, I spoke to a man, he said, yes, the country cannot continue to be borrowing. Therefore, this yield levy will reduce our external borrowing drastically for us. But he said, but these politicians, I don't trust them. But if you assure the person that you are going to take the money and use it for the purpose that has been stated, that person will just be monitoring you to see whether what you told him or you told her you are actually implementing, just to win the person's trust. The Ghanaian doesn't have too much issue. Even if you are taking 1 Ghana cedi from somebody, it's money.
Do you think that the Ghanaians trust in the finance ministry? The same finance minister who came to tell Ghanaians that the government can no longer employ because government payroll is full. Do you think that Ghanaians will trust the same person who Ghanaians are accusing of, borrowing excessively and, the nation not seeing the worth of the borrowings? Are you expecting Ghanaians to trust the same minister?
You see, we have a finance minister who is very sincere and very honest and straightforward. You check his demeanor. My brother was saying that last Friday he began to trust the minister. Look at his demeanor. He was just telling you what it is. Maybe I would have found another way of saying it, but for him, I can tell you, on authority, the finance minister, quote unquote, is not a politician.
He's a finance minister.
He's a finance minister. I'm telling you, he's a finance minister. He's not like my brother here. Yes. He's not a politician, so he say it as it is.
The non-politicians are the honest ones. Like you said, if you were you would have put it in a different way.
Not a different. It is the same thing. It is the same thing, but in a different way.
Right.
You get it? Or Mr. would have said it in a different way, but it's the same thing.
Right.
But for him, he wants to go straight.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's sum up on this conversation and sum up on the newspaper review. Tomorrow we are expecting to have the house resume. Amongst so many things that were left hanging, the e-levy is topical, and I think that when we resume, the minority has already indicated their stance on the Apiating explosion, among some other things. What do we expect? What are our expectations If I'd share my personal expectation with you, I expect that the blows and all of those things would reduce, if not strictly or permanently taken out. I'm expecting better behavior. What are your expectations, Elliot?
Yeah, thank you. I think that, like you said, and my brother rightly said, we just have to all go the approach of the finance minister. For me, I like the guy's approach. He's been very consistent. Right from introduction of free SHS, he was against it. He said people like him should pay. Because I keep telling my MPP brothers and sisters, if you go to the developed states like America and all that, people who go to boarding houses pay. You go to free school in your district, your community. That is free. But once you move from your community to the next community, you pay. So this general blanket of everybody free is causing us a problem. Now, as we speak, our first year's SHS students are sitting home and they have to go in April because there's no money. And that's why government is so adamant and want to get this e-levy at all costs. Now, as we sit, brother, let my brother, I want to even give him my time. Does he even understand the e-levy? How the taxes are going to be taken and how the total effect? Because we are even being told that even after all the percentage, 1.75 you paid all to the end of the year, at the end of the year, you pay a cumulative 35% on them. Nobody is discussing that.
Where is this one coming from?
It came on air. People analyze, because like he said, as we sit here, do Ghanaians even know? Do Ghanaians even know?
Is it an accumulation of the 1.75?
They said the 1.75 all
that is totally dependent on the number of transactions
that you've done.
So
and I'm saying
it doesn't hold.
No, so I'm just saying that. So do we even understand? And the typical Ghanaian guy on the street is just saying that, look, I gave you money to take care of. You said you are broke. You came and then you couldn't account for 12.8 billion. Go and look at that. Now you want 7.4 billion. Even if I give you that 7.4 billion and you are losing 12.8 billion, then we still won't go anywhere.
It's like,
so go
to you, the e-levy is more like,
it's not going to help anything.
With a basket.
And go and put it in a basket.
Okay.
So rather put the hose. And like he said, I think 2022, we are expecting a parliament that will be more gentlemanly, sort of, especially that they should live by the title, the honorables that we've been giving them and all that. And everything should be based on your point. Say your point of view. Let me say my point of view. And we are expecting that the MPP leadership try to, be a little fair. Because as it became like what he said on that day, he chose to say that he failed to not to trust the speaker based on the events of because he's looking at it skewedly. In the sense that the speaker was in the house up to 3 something, of which your people were dodging because your members were not fully up. So you were trying to dodge a thing. And as a 3, the man was sick. He's somebody who is recovering from sickness. So he had to leave. He was there and then he had to leave. You failed not to show up. So we are saying that we have voted for these MPs, whether NDC or MPP, to go and fight for our rights, to go and make laws for us, to go and bring development to us. We didn't send them there to go and fight. So no matter the provocation, I will also ask that the fisticuffs and all those ones should not happen. But then it all comes down to majority side, what they will do, because it is their action that will create the enabling opposite reaction.
Interesting. Mr. Elliot is speaking science and physics. What do we expect?
What I'm expecting, this time I'm expecting more cooperation between both parties. That is the both minority and majority. And we are also expecting, because if we do not go like cooperating with them, having more engagements with them, we are going to have issues and that thing. And as we have given to our people over the weekend, we are going to expect them to behave honorably, no matter the provocation that will come. Behave as honorable as you have been called, or as we call you. Don't allow anybody to mislead you. Some of the MPs, excuse me to say, are just being misled. Yes, are just being misled. And the truth must be told. Even if you look at the quality of this parliament, the 8th parliament, the quality is actually down. That is why we are having some of these things. So I believe that.
Why do you say quality is down? Is
The-
it because
is
of
it-
the influx of
yes, yes, some of them are.
new members of
Is
parliament?
that?
But if you have
Is
a
it because of the influx of new members of parliament?
Not
if you have a
necessarily.
co-implies
Hold
MP,
on.
a first time MP, ordering everybody out. The quality is really down. Ordering even the majority leader out. Even ordering the majority leader out.
You see, yes,
Do you agree?
No,
It's one of those indications.
No, I don't
But
agree with
true
you.
now.
But what I'm saying is that the quality that I'm talking of is from both sides.
Okay.
You get it.
Right.
You get it both sides, because if the quality is there, no amount of prorogation will let you do what happened.
I'd say if the quality
So-
was existent, we wouldn't have even get to that point.
Oh yes.
Even
the engagement and the cooperation,
Exactly.
it comes out of maturity.
So the
it comes
quality
of
of
yes,
leadership.
yes, the quality of leadership.
On the
yes,
majority.
But the quality of leadership, don't place it on the majority. It's the leadership of the parliament,
right?
which
On
includes
the
the
majority side.
Of course, and the majority leader, the minority leader, deputy, and then the whips as well. They all form part of the leadership.
But let me say
So
something. Let me say something quickly. I want to speak to Ghanaians. The Yi levy has come to stay. We are going to have a lot of benefits from getting the the benefits that we will get from the Yi levy. As a country, we cannot continue to be borrowing for the future generation to come and inherit from us. At a point in time, we have to stop borrowing, and it starts from the Yi levy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Prating. Indeed, we have to go beyond borrowing, as the current administration says. They're hoping to set up a Ghana beyond aid. Maybe we're on the trajectory of going beyond aid, but as it stands now, we need a lot of aid, especially within ourselves, to stop fighting each other, even at Parliament. When Parliament resumes tomorrow, Reginald Daddy, your humble servant, I promise to bring you updates from there. In the meantime, I was joined in the studios by Mr. Emmanuel Kwating, who speaks for the New Patriotic Party, and Mr. Eugene Ishan Elliott speaks for the National Democratic Congress. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and I'm wishing you the best of the day. This is where we wrap up on the newspaper review segment, AM Ghana. We have a conversation coming up about the COVID-19. We've heard about several variants. Currently, we are battling with Omicron. Late last year in December, we heard about a combination of Delta variant and Omicron and variant, and they gave it a name, Delta Cron. And we understand there is one other one called a Fluorocron, and Charlie, it's becoming scary. But relax. Ijoma is going to bring you a conversation so that all of these myths and thoughts that we have formed will be busted. Only if you stay here on AM Ghana. Don't go anywhere.